So do we actually take all HELLP syndrome mothers straight to theatre and deliver? No. As I highlighted before, you need to optimize them prior to taking them to theatre. And that is very, very important, so that's one thing that we need to have in our mind. Do not rush them into theatre just because it is a HELLP syndrome. Delivery is the cure. Yes, that is the only way of taking the pathology out, but not immediately unless there is a maternal compromise. The mother is deteriorating and there is no way of securing her. The fetus is already dead or there is a compromise. And when the pregnancy is greater than 34 weeks and the fetus is viable, but the mother is deteriorating, then you can actually work there. However, we would like to have some time to buy, maybe few hours to stabilize, get the blood products, strengthen the coagulation, give some time for the steroids to work for the baby and stabilize the mother. So this is a two-way thing that you use, not always 24 to 48 hours, but just some time to buy before you take them to theatre. Maybe get the liver surgeon. If there is a hematoma, he might be present during theatre. So these are the reasons why we would want few hours to optimize this mother. So the treatment guidelines, the most important thing in optimization is antihypertensive therapy. If she is hypertensive, please control the blood pressure because it's the main killer. The risk of intracerebral hemorrhage, subarachnoid hemorrhage, and stroke are the main killers. The target blood pressure should be less than 150 over 105, ideally about 140 over 90. We do not overshoot the target also. Labetalol and hydralazine, nifedipine, these are the most common drugs used. If the oral drug does not work with first drug, you start a second one, and if triple class drug does not work, you start the IV drugs as well in the critical care environment. Once the blood pressure is stabilized, most of the things get under control, so it's very, very crucial. The next would be seizure prophylaxis. I think we've well known over the last 2 decades that magnesium is of paramount importance in preeclamptic mothers. A bolus of 4 grams IV bolus followed by 1 gram per hour should be continued. Do not stop magnesium. We are not worried about toxicity just within the 24 hours unless there are signs of it. We will be watching for toxicity. Calcium gluconate is antagonist, but my only point that I would think about when I'm going to give a general anesthesia in this mother would be, what about the muscle relaxants? Succinylcholine is okay for rapid sequence induction. If I'm using a non-depolarizing, I would be cautious with the amount of drug I use, and that would be one point that I would be careful about. Yes, so please continue the magnesium before and after and through the surgery as well. IV fluids, very crucial. As I mentioned before, they are on the brim of developing pulmonary edema. Do not overshoot the targets. Maintenance 1 ml per kilo per hour. Aim for a urine output about 0.5 ml per kilo per hour. Give furosemide only if there is pulmonary edema. There is no point giving furosemide just because the urine output is low. They may well need renal support. Coagulation, check the platelets. Use POCT to confirm what the functional analysis is. Transfuse if it is less than 50, if you're going to go in for surgery or if there is active bleeding. Transfuse platelets definitely if it is less than 20. Okay. If with the onset of DIC, it can be quite fatal. Massive transfusion protocol has to be initiated. This Always group had performed multiple research with the PPH, and they have identified that very early on drop in fibrinogen less than 2 grams per liter is a high risk predictor for catastrophic PPH. So this will be one of the tests that you do at the very beginning, and your early application of fibrinogen might save this woman, and that is what they've done in many of the abruption cases and severe preeclamptic mothers. So this is a very interesting article to read. So what are my targets? Hemoglobin around 7, fibrinogen greater than 4 grams per liter, normal INR, and platelets greater than 50 into 10 power 9 per liter.